My journey began speeding across Wahiba Sands, where for the first few miles is a rough gravel track, something my guide, a former rally driving champion, was obviously keen to enjoy. It wasn't exactly the desert encounter I'd imagined, but soon we were surrounded by dunes and silence. Wahiba Sands is more than 6,000 years old, its dunes up to 300 feet high. Among them lived the Bedouin. We came across Salma, who welcomed me to her home. She spends her time cooking bread, rice and curry, and looking after her goats and camels. But even in her lifetime, things have changed. Her son has a truck, they shop in the city, and they no longer live according to the seasons.
In former times, we used to have a small tent and moved around with our animals. Wherever it was green and there was food, we set up home. During the fishing season, we moved to the sea, and we didn't see the desert for a month or two, unless we needed something. We moved every summer and winter.
Despite his change in lifestyle, Salma's son still wants to stay in the desert.
I was born here, my family is here, and my cousins and my friends. We live together. I would never want to leave.
We left the pair and headed round, up and over the dunes, Naban reassuring me of his driving skills. And do you think we'll get stuck?
No. We won't get stuck because you're in a good hand, so someone really professional here.
But even professionals can have fun, and for us, that meant a little dune bashing.
This is fun of the dunes.
We spent our last night in the desert at a camp at the edge of the sands, where local musicians provided entertainment around the fire. Next morning it was up at 5 for sunrise.
Well, this is really quite magical, even though the sand is still a bit damp with dew, but it's patterned with tracks where creatures have been out overnight.
16,000 creatures live in the sands. You may well spot the tracks of a desert rat or a fox. That evening, views of a different kind as we wound our way through the central Hajar Mountains. Cut into the rock is a medieval village of Mitzvah al-Abreen. Few travel here, but those who do get a sense of old Arabia. The village is a mass of narrow alleyways with no room for cars. Donkeys are the only means of transport here, and in many respects, life has barely changed over the centuries. As with elsewhere in Oman, at the centre of the village is the falaj, or irrigation system, where water is channeled from the mountains to feed date palms below. The only change since it was built has been the addition of taps. The channels overflow into a pool that's enjoyed by village children. It's the perfect place to stay cool when temperatures reach a soaring 48 degrees. We left to take in Wadi Nakir Gorge, also known as Oman's Grand Canyon. It's popular with walkers for its stunning views. I was just as content with sunset as we ended our 2-day adventure through some of Oman's incredible natural landscape.